Hey everyone, this is Zach with 8020 Media, here today with a video on the best Honda engines of all time. Many associate Honda with reliability and know that Honda builds some of the most reliable cars and engines on the road, so there's no question that Honda has a very good reputation when it comes to reliability. However, some outside of the enthusiast community might be a little unaware that Honda also builds some incredible performance engines, and over the years has really churned out some great engines with an incredible balance of performance, reliability, and fuel economy, a lot of different things. So Honda has really done a great job of building some really good engines over the year. It was really hard to narrow this down to a list of the 5 best Honda engines of all time. If we just looked at reliability, there would be way too many to pick and choose from. So went through and got a couple different Honda engines based a little bit on reliability, performance, and their potential in the aftermarket scene. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about the 5 best Honda engines of all time. Starting at number 5 on the list, we have the Honda D-Series engine, specifically the Honda D16 engine. The D16 was produced from 1984 until 2005, looking specifically at the D16 engine. That is the 1.6 liter variant of the Honda D-Series engine family. The Honda D16 is really the cream of the crop out of the D-Series engine family. If you look at the aftermarket scene, the D16 is a very successful engine. An ideal build with the D16 includes a few different variants from that engine family. The A6, Y8, and Z6 variants of the D16 are often considered some of the best engines in the D-Series engine family. If you are looking to build out one of these D-Series engines, it does use a variety of components from a couple of these different engines to get the best balance of performance, reliability, cylinder head flow, etc. This engine was also great for its simplicity. It is a very simple single overhead cam inline 4 engine, and it did also blend a little bit of modern Honda technology such as VTEC, as well as a later models moving to OBD2. But nonetheless, the D16 is a great engine for its overall balance of aftermarket support, incredibly reliable, and a testament to its quality in that Honda stuck with it from 1984 all the way through 2005. Moving on to engine number 4 on the list, we have the Honda J35. And as a little spoiler, the J35 is a 3.5 liter V6, and this is the only non-inline 4 Honda engine that I'm discussing in this video, but it's very well deserving of a spot on the best Honda engines of all time. The J35 went into production in 1998 and remains in production through this very day, but through its 25 plus year run so far, it's been in dozens and dozens of different Honda and Acura models, which means it's a very easy engine to find, very easy to source parts for, and ultimately the J35 is often considered a very bulletproof engine and one that really doesn't suffer from many common problems at all. There are a couple different variants, some with VCM, or essentially a form of cylinder deactivation technology. These engines with VCM can be a little bit more problematic. However, disabling that VCM is a good option to improve the reliability on those J35 engines. But ultimately, even with that, it's still a great engine, still an incredibly durable, reliable engine, and combine that with the fact that it is a 3.5 liter V6 and delivers up to 310 horsepower, it strikes a very good balance of performance, reliability, and longevity. Moving on to number 3 on the list, we have the Honda B-Series engine. The B-Series was really one of those engines that put Honda on the map with the aftermarket and enthusiast communities. They range from 1.6 liters to 2 liters, all inline 4 engines. These were also the first engines to introduce Honda's VTEC technology, which, as many know, people love VTEC. It sounds awesome and it's a great technology on the cars. So talking about these specific B-Series variants in the B16, B18, and B20, typically the B16 and B18 are the preferred builds. That is because both were available with VTEC. The larger B20 2-liter variant never had VTEC. Now, if you did really want to build a Honda B-Series engine, you actually can use a VTEC cylinder head on the B20 engines, so it is possible to build a B20 with VTEC. And if you have a little bit of a higher budget and you're looking for the ultimate build, that's often the preference for the B series. But otherwise, if you're looking for a simpler build, the B16 is often an excellent engine for high revving applications, and the B18 is just 0.2 of a liter larger at 1.8 liters, so that extra displacement will help with power output a little bit if you're looking for kind of a higher power top end type build. One other note just to point out how great the Honda B series engines really were, looking at the B18 C5 variant that was found in the Integra Type R, that 1.8 liter B18 engine pumped out 195 horsepower and revved to 8,400 RPMs, which are incredible numbers, especially for an engine of this era coming from the 1990s. Just incredible performance to achieve a decent bit over 100 horsepower per liter on a naturally aspirated engine. In summary of the Honda B series engines, whether you're looking for a high revving naturally aspirated build or a turbocharged V8 killer, or ultimately just an incredibly reliable and fun daily driver, the B series really has something to offer for just about everyone. And so for those reasons, the B series is certainly one of Honda's most legendary and reputable engines, and one that is absolutely deserving of a spot on the list of the 5 best Honda engines of all time. Moving on to number 2 on the list, we have the Honda K-Series engines. The 2 primary variants are the K20, which is a 2.0 liter inline-4, as well as the K24, which is a 2.4 liter inline-4. Both the K20 and K24 are incredible engines. There's not really any way that you can go wrong with either one, just a matter of if you're looking for a little bit more displacement with the larger K24 or a smaller engine in the Honda K20. Ultimately, these 2 engines are among not just the best Honda engines of all time, but in my opinion, are among some of the best inline-4 engines of all time. A few reasons for the K20 and K24's success comes from the fact that parts are readily available, they're very cheap and affordable, there's huge potential with the K20 and K24 engines. They're very easy to push to 400 plus horsepower, which to some, especially by modern standards, that might not sound like a ton of power, but out of a small 2 liter or 2.4 liter naturally aspirated engine, to get to that kind of power, especially in a smaller, compact, lightweight vehicle, it is a lot of power and really punches well above its weight class in terms of just looking at horsepower numbers. These are engines that can compete with much more powerful engines, and engines that many would probably assume would be much quicker than the K20 or K24. But ultimately, these K-Series engines were able to achieve 110 plus horsepower per liter on naturally aspirated engines, which is really just an incredible number. And so all around, the K20 and K24 are just great engines with a nearly perfect blend and balance of performance, reliability, longevity, availability, and really just a lot of different things that come together to make the K-Series one of the greatest Honda engines of all time. Moving on to number 1 on the list, last but certainly not least, we have the Honda F20C. While the B series and K series were both incredible engines, again, for their nearly perfect balance of performance, reliability, longevity, so on and so forth, the Honda F20C is an engine that really takes it to the next level. The F20C was found in the legendary Honda S2000 or S2K. This engine pairing is really one of the best car and engine combinations, not only from Honda, but in general. Moving back into the F20C and talking a little bit more about this engine, the F20C uses technology from Honda racing engines, and that is how this engine is able to achieve a whopping 9,000 RPM rev limit, as well as a max output of 248 horsepower from the 2 liter displacement. So that comes out to 124 horsepower per liter, which at the time was the best mark for a production naturally aspirated engine. And even to this day, there really aren't any engines that compete with that 124 horsepower per liter mark, with the exception of a few Porsches, Ferraris, and some other supercars. And so for Honda to be able to put an engine like this into the S2000 is really just incredible, and goes to show that the F20C is very well deserving of the spot as the best Honda engine of all time. Anyway, guys, that wraps up our video for today. If you appreciated the content, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the description below for more. Thanks, everyone.